And this is the seed department office. This is where I do all the computer work and everything. Got all my files, everything I keep on file for 7 years in here. Keep all my hard files in here. That's what I use to test the seed with. And everything else I need to take care of my seed production. Thanks. And this is one of my seed storage areas. We keep most of our seed back here. Alright, and this is my seed production area. Got the silos and all the production machines. And this is my seed cooler. This is where we keep all of our garden and our field seed. Right now we got the temperature at 50 degrees, nice and cold. Keeps the seed germ lasting for us. This is all the 5 pounds, all my 1 pounders. Keep field seed in here that rolls over, that way the germination doesn't drop on it. Keep it nice and cold and keep good germ. Get it tore around and keep got my scan goods over here, hermetically sealed items. Over here a few more hermetically sealed items as well, that way they're separate from the rest of the seed. Right through those, what's hermetically and what's not. Hey, how you doing today? My name is Uriah Patterson. I'm the seed coordinator here at BWI-Apopka. Today we're going to be running some production on scarified Pensacola. First you want to do prior to running the seed is you want to check your production history. So what I use is a buyer screen and the 4150 screen. And what you're going to do is this is going to pop up here. Then you type in the warehouse. Our warehouse is branch 14. Then you're going to scroll down. And we're going to type in the product item code, which is FS54 for Pensacola. Alright, and we see here availability is 292. Last year we sold 727 just in March alone. So we see we can run that up a little bit and try and stay on top of the game. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the same screen. We're going to F3 and go back. Branch 14 once again. And we're going to look at our Pensacola on hand, which is 591 available. So we can use some of that because we see they got on order 4,250, which is on the way to us. So we can get into some of this and not hurt any of our sales. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to run up the production on the scarified Pensacola. Alright, so here we are in the production room. We're going to run the treated Pensacola. After looking at our buyer screen previously, we know what we're going to run today. So we're going to start by getting our seed into the hopper here. What we're going to do is we need to turn on our breaker for all of our machines. So I'm going to turn these on real quick. And we're going to turn our elevator. This is elevator number 1, 2, and 3 is what I have back here for the production. So I'm going to start by hitting the switches for the elevators over here. 1, 2, and 3. Alright, now we're ready to go on here. And what this does is, I've got 3 silos. This is 5 pounders, this is my blended seed, and over here is my scarification seed. So what we're going to do is pull the 2 right screws, which closes the chute and makes our seed force over to the last silo where we want it directed at. So now that those are ready to go, we can turn our elevator on. And that's going to take the seed straight into our silo. And treated seed over there. You can actually see sometimes when it hits over there, you can hear it. You know it's going to the right spot, so you know you're good. What we're going to do is going to walk around over here. I'm going to explain to you the treatment that we give you today. When we treat our seed, studies suggest that the chemical that we apply to the seed promotes faster germination rates. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to show you the treatment process. This is our treatment tank. This is where we put our chemicals into. We already got the machine running here just so it can start pumping through. We got a pump down here that's going to pump our ink from in here up to our distribution. Our seed that we poured through is going to come through this cylinder. We got a plate stopping it right here. So when we're ready and this is filled up and ready to start treating seed, we'll open that chute and drop the seed in the tumbler here. And this tumbler just kind of spins around, and then the seed will shoot into the elevators and so forth over where we can check it and see our progress. So we're going to check our overflow here. What we're going to do is, you want the flow to be just enough to come down in your cup over here for your overflow. That way it doesn't run dry as you're running the seed. And every time the seed drops down, it's going to drop on a weight in here, a cup that holds it and detects how much seed's in there. And once it gets full, it triggers this device to dump the seed, the treatment back and forth to the seed to get the right amount of treatment per distribution of the seed. So the die is where we want it. So we're going to go ahead and start the machines up. First thing we're going to do is turn our elevators on. It's going to be 1, 2, and 3. We're going to start our tumbler. It's going to come out of the tumbler. You'll be able to see it here, and you can see when the die starts getting on the seed. Start our other elevator. This is going to shoot down to our last elevator here. And this is just the final check of our seed. When it comes out, we can see if it's got the right amount of treatment per seed and if it looks right to us. If not, then we can go back and shut the chute on the cylinder over there, and it'll stop production so that we can correct any adjustments that we need to make. All right, so we're ready to start running seed. What we're going to do is we're going to open the chute on the cylinder here. You can see I got it marked. Got it marked right here. You don't want the chute fully open. You want it to trickle out just enough to where this has time to dump back and forth and get the corrective amount of treatment for the seed. What it's doing now is going through the tumbler. As that's getting dumped onto the top of the seed, it's got a little chute where it dumps it into the tumbler. And it's going to come out over here. It's going to take a minute more to actually start seeing results on the seed. So what we'll do is we got a bag hanging over there already. So the first 50 pounds of seed, we'll bag up and we'll put it back through the process at the beginning of the elevator again. And over here is our final product. You can see it coming out. You're starting to see the coating on it. You can start seeing the treatment on the seed. It's starting to show through a little bit. And as it progresses a little bit, you'll see it get a little darker, a little more defined, which you can start to see now. Now it's starting to get, you can see the scarification, the treatment that we apply to it. All right, this final one's going to shoot over, and the elevator's taking it over to our last cylinder over here. This is where we hang our seed at. The treated seed is held in this cylinder here. We bring it down to this 0 mark, which we have it calibrated, so this means 50 pounds. So you want to stay real close to this 0 mark, as close as possible. And we got 2 little lines here that you want to try and stay within. So as you pull this lever, and drop the seed down in the bag here. Go ahead and let it go to the 0 to show you where we want it at the 50 pound mark. It's just getting close to things up a little bit. That's pretty close. So we'll do is turn on our conveyor. And this is if I was going to stitch the bag up. We would run it through. The stitcher would grab a hold of it through the conveyor here. And the air compressor got the amount of pressure to start the cutter to where it actually touches the stitch after it's been completely stitched up. And then we'll put it on our pallet. So like I said, with this one here, the first bag, you kind of want to run it back through. It's not been fully treated. So we're going to start our elevator once again. And this is still going to the beginning of the treatment. You see some of it's treated, some of it's not. This will assure us that our seed is fully treated by the time it gets out. So now what's coming through should be fully treated. We can go ahead and run a bag through the stitcher and show you how we stitch this up here. Now that we know this is work ready. We're going to take one final look at the seed, make sure it's where we want it. And it's looking pretty good. This is about what we want it. Good consistency. It's not real wet. It's dry pretty good. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and bag it up. Once again, you want to go to the 0 mark as close as possible. You see it's flowing a little quicker now because the seed's already caught up to us. We kind of want to ease it into there. You know, fold over the top. Run it across the top here. And that's our stitch. That's the process of treating our Pensacola scarified. And that's our treated seed process on the Pensacola behavior. We run roughly around about 3,000 bags per year. Last year was about 3,200 bags. So that way we can anticipate the same production this year. Alright, what we're going to do now is if we want to stop the production on the treated, we can actually shut it down if there's a higher demand for another product. So for instance, a sales rep needs something immediately, we can shut this down and come back to it as soon as possible. So what we're going to do now is we're going to come over here and shut down our machine. So you start with your chute because that's what's allowing the seed to come down. So if you stop that, you stop all production. So if you see something that don't look right while you're producing, you can always do this as well. Once you shut that chute, it's only going to finish what's in the tumbler, and once that's done, it's going to shut itself down. So we can actually shut down the ink now because it's no longer pumping ink into the seed anymore. And we'll just let it go ahead and flow out. You can see it's starting to trickle out a little bit at a time. Once that stops where it don't fill up the elevator anymore, we can go ahead and shut it down permanently. And looks like it's pretty good there. We go ahead and stop the tumbler. Let the elevator catch up where it don't build up. We can watch it over here, the progress. See it's starting to slow down on us here. And we can go ahead and shut this elevator down. We'll just go through the other steps here. Once we see it stop coming through here, we can go ahead and shut this down as well. And last but not least, our conveyor and our stitcher. Shut that down now. The whole operation's been shut down and we can start our next operation. And we're going to do this over here where we started at the beginning. Is these ropes here control our chutes at the top. So if we want to go all the way to the right over here, which is our 5-pounders, that's what we're going to be running, the FS 505. We will pull both left strings. What this did is just shut off the doors for this cylinder and this one over here, so where it's all being directed towards where we want it. All right, so we're ready to start running our 5-pounders. So what we're going to do before we get to the seed part is we're going to get our bags ready. First thing we need to do is get our seed analysis printed up. So what I do is I send off for a complete to Halsey Seed Lab, and when we make a new lot number here, what I like to do is put the month, the year, and then the item code. That way, whenever we see that lot number, we know exactly what it is and when it was produced. And it allows us to keep track of our production a little easier, so we know what's going on. So once I get done making this, I'm gonna print them up, put them on the bags, and we're gonna start our production. Okay, so this is our finished product. I showed you on the gun how we were making the seed analysis. This is what it prints up like. I'm gonna put these on my 5-pound poly bags, and they're sitting over at the machine ready for us to go. I pulled our sample. We're gonna send our sample with our lot number on there. Got the BWI code so we know what it is, and we'll get this going. All right, we've already pulled our chutes, so we know it's shooting over to our 5-pound machine. We're gonna add a couple bags here just to show for demonstration. And once again, we've got our elevator switch on over there already. We're gonna run this, and you'll see it drop in over at our machine over here. Got here is she's dropping down onto the conveyor. We've got everything shut off. We got our air compressor turned on. It's got pressure to this lid here. If you don't have the compressor hooked up to it, this chute will open, and if your conveyor's on, it'll just constantly dump seed on you. So make sure that your conveyor's turned off, which is all the way to the left, and your compressor's plugged in and it's got good air pressure, which we can tell because this is shut. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna set our display over here. We're going to bring that down. You want to calculate for some of the speed of the seed coming off of the conveyor too. So you don't want it quite on 5 pounds because the seed's still going to be dumping even after it's stopped and hit the set point. And this just gives it a point to where it tells the system, okay, that's enough. So let's go with 482. And you will have to play with it a little bit to get right on when you first start your first bag. So we're going to go ahead and turn the conveyor on. And it just vibrates the seed out into the dispenser here. See, it's a little over. So what we can do right here until we get it adjusted, we'll take a little seed out where it's right on our mark. Now we know we need to bring our set point down a little bit. Just a hair. That'll do it right there. Alright, we got our bags here. Got our seed analysis on the back, where we can still read all the disclaimers and all the directions for use. Nice and clean. Alright, gonna make sure the back is covered. This is your switch, your release switch. We'll try and get as much air out of the bag as possible. You're not going to get it all, but you can get it pretty good. Alright. And we seal it. There we go. 5-pound bag of Pensacola there. Alright, when we get our 10 bags done, we're going to weigh them up and double check on our other scale over here. And we see it's right on 5. We're good to go. We go ahead and case these up. We put 10 5-pounders in a case. And we'll use our BWI bag here. And what I like to do is lay one bag flat, have the other one standing up. And you just keep laying these flat like that. So when you're done, you'll have 8 up and 2 on their side. Just helps it to where you still got room to stitch. All right, and that's 10. I'll let the bag settle a little bit. Get a nice crease on it. I'm going to bring it right here to our stitcher. Set the end of it. That's it. Thank you.